speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. I want to welcome one to the show tonight. Don't know why that is working that way. But hopefully everybody had a great day today. Welcome Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Live. Indeed, Live is always in the house. Twitter. So hopefully y'all had a great day today. And hopefully you got the opportunity of going out to vote. Today was the last day of early voting. The polls did close at 7, but hopefully you found the time to go out and vote. Also, want to give a couple of shout outs to some special people in my life. Happy birthday shout outs, which I don't do it all the time, but if you have a birthday coming up, please send us a message. We'll shout out to you also. I want to shout out to Michelle Wilson, happy birthday. Antoine Jeffrey, happy birthday. Happy birthday to both of you. And it's many more. So if I didn't say happy birthday to you, just let me know and I'll shout out to you. So today, oh, and Periscope. Did I say Periscope? I hope I did. What's going on, Periscope, Twitter? I see y'all are in the house tonight. So, you know, we've been talking about Amber Guyger, gonna try to get her charge tossed down, get a lower charge and all of that. So she went to court today. And her attorney arguing that it shouldn't be a murder conviction, which it should be. And talking about she wasn't intending to kill him, but she did admit in her trial. She did. So we'll talk about that. I want to know what's your thoughts on the Amber Guyger trying to get her murder conviction tossed out. How do you feel about it? Do you think it should be? Or do you think she just need to stay up there with Big Bertha and continue to plait her hair for her? Let me know how you feel about it. Then also we're going to, man, I don't know if y'all seen that news. That news report this morning, that news conference of Andrew Brown Jr., family and attorneys this morning. That was nerve-wracking. To hear the evidence that came out of that case is just crazy. Now I know why a state of emergency have been ordered. And as of, I guess, the last time I checked, the video still haven't came out. So we're going to talk about that also. But the FBI did open up a civil rights investigation against the police. So welcome to the show, Radio Chaos, my brother from Canada that is always on the show. Not sure why, but on my other monitor, look like we are freezing. I'm not sure what's going on. YouTube look like y'all are freezing. Radio, is YouTube showing me moving and everything? Because I don't know why on my other monitor it's showing that we are freezing. Yeah, it's several minutes behind. So it look like it's back moving now, but it's definitely freezing and still playing the theme song. Um, yeah, that's going to be a hard one. It's going to be hard to do. Her former defense lawyer admitted that felonies are rarely overturned on appeal. Seemed fine to her, just want to waste our tax dollars. That's all it is. Just a waste of tax dollar. Only ones it's going to benefit is the attorneys. You did the crime, accept your punishment. You got a slap on the wrist. And my whole thing, um, okay, yeah, it's working again. I don't no, I didn't push pause. I don't think no, I want to push pause on that. But let me see if I could get it back live because for some reason it now it keep freezing for some reason. So I don't know why. I'm gonna see if I could get it back live and maybe I accidentally hit pause or something when it started, but okay, we're live now. So uh but yeah, um my opinion about this Amber Guyger, um she got off with a flap on the wrist. For a murder conviction, you only got what 10 years. Take a deep breath and take it. That's my opinion of it. Take a deep breath and take it. Go in there and try to make some friends. And um and the thing else is it's crazy. It's crazy. I felt like she should have got more time. That's my opinion of it. She should have received way more time than what she did receive. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I know everybody have their own opinion, and that's okay. You can definitely share your opinion about it, and we can have open discussion about it. Uh, do you think the time that she received is good, or do you think she should be able to get it tossed out and get a lower charge? I personally don't feel like she should. Um, but I know we've been talking about Andrew Brown Jr. for the last couple of days, and as more and more evidence come out, and because Elizabeth City, North Carolina, is not saying much, just saying that the FBI is investigating it, and that's it. Uh, okay, radio made a comment. Even if she served the full 10-year, Geiger will be 40 years old. Still plenty of time to put her life back together. She got off easy. Yes, she did. She definitely got off easy. Which we see this way too often. Um, kind of like Derek Chauvin, the murderer of George Floyd. Even though he's facing a large amount of time, some people don't expect for him to do half that time. They expect for him to get a slap on the wrist, which unfortunately, that's the problem that we run into when it's dealing with Black laws. I know I say this all the time, but at some point, enough is enough. We need new leadership across the board. Someone who is going to stand up for the people of this great country. And if they're not going to stand up for us, we need to remove the ones by voting them out of those positions. Now, me personally, I feel like we need to clean the entire Texas house out for the simple fact we have some older people that is in these positions and they become accustomed to it. They don't um, they okay with what's going on. It's the new norm. And at some point we have to say, you know what? We cannot just sit around and wait. We need to vote them out. Need to vote them out. Kind of like radio. I know you mentioned about your politicians up in Canada, even in California. They try to recall the election for that governor and trying to get him out of office. But I don't see it happening because uh, in one interview they said he's up for re-election. So why spend all this time and money to try to get someone out of office and he's up for re-election? That's when you go to the polls and get the person out. And the reason why they trying to move him out is for the simple fact when he shut down the whole state to keep everybody safe. Yeah. So of course, looking into it, he's a Democrat, and the ones that's trying to remove him are Republicans, which is not a shocker to me. But he did what he felt was best for that particular state. I I don't know enough about it, but if you are in California and know more about it, definitely let us know because we need to know. Um, for we can make sure we get out accurate information. But they are trying to recall his election. But if he only have a couple of months out before you able to do that, he could his term would end. So you got to pick which fight you want. I don't understand it, but hey. Um, but going back to Andrew Brown, young, I'm gonna tell you now. When I heard that in the news conference this morning, it put me in a whole different mood after hearing the things that came out. So if you don't have a strong heart of mind to be able to say some of the things I'm about to say, I appreciate you for tuning in. But this is going to be some real talk, um, as we do all the time. So listening to this interview this morning, um, and I was trying to take notes as they was talking. It come out, they doing the interview, had several attorneys up there, including attorney Ben Crump. And I don't know why, but a lot of people have ill feeling about attorney Ben Crump. My whole thing is he's doing something for the victims that have been killed by the police. Now, we may not agree everything he do or how he do it, but to disrespect this man on national TV, make some of the um, say some of the things you was saying is just pretty flat out rude. And my question is, and I would ask people this all the time, what are you gonna do? Or what are you doing? For the simple fact, I sound like Joe Madison there. Shout out to Joe Madison. Uh, but the thing is, everybody is pissed off about this killing. We know something not right, but you're attacking the one man and the several other attorneys that is that is working on this case. But you're attacking him as if he's the one that did it. But also, you have to look at the fact that he's traveling quite a bit, dealing with different cases. Okay, I understand this happened in your backyard. I understand that. You upset. You may know the person, may not know the person. You may just be upset that it happened in your backyard. But to verbally attack someone that is going on, that is going around this country, helping these different families, whatever, however he do it, whenever he do it, but he's doing something. But because he come to your town, you want to verbally attack this man during a news conference. And I would ask you, what are you doing? What have you done for your community? Did you just decide to, after this shooting, speak out, try to get involved? And the problem is, this happens so often where people get upset because somebody's um, doing something different for the simple fact that you didn't come up with it. You probably sit back every time he's on the TV representing his family, getting upset. Oh, there you go. He's chasing the money train. I don't know about none of that. I don't care about none of it. But the fact that he's there, and because he's there, these families getting some type of justice. I'm not going to say they're getting full justice because they can never bring their loved ones back, but they getting some type of justice. They getting exposure to these cases just because he's there. Let the truth be told, a lot of these cases we barely do hear about. And kind of like what I said years ago, when I was on the road all the time, I used to listen to Warren Ballantyne. Came on satellite radio. He was talking about cases like this. He was an attorney, but he was talking about cases that you're not going to get on mainstream news. He was talking about cases all over the world that was going on. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing about another hashtag black man been killed unarmed. I'm tired of hearing about it. That's why I push voting so much because we need to get out and vote. We can march, complain all you want to, but if you don't get your ass off that couch and go vote, it don't mean a damn thing. You need to get out and vote. Don't just show up and at a press conference and get upset at the one person that is uh, representing all these families. Apparently, he's doing something right because these families are calling. I used to hear all the time same thing about Reverend Al Sharpton when it's dealing with a civil right matters. People would complain that he would show up. But what are you doing? Where are you showing up at? What are you trying to do for your community? How are you trying to help your community? Don't complain about it. Reach out and help them. You might just make a difference. So that's the thing. What are you doing about it? But listening to this news conference this morning, all the different attorneys, and it was pretty quick. I came in kind of in the middle of it, and each attorney spoke about it, and I can hear the pain in their voice. Even as an attorney, they have to stay right. Um, you have to be able to keep your composure doing those type of things because it's not right. Radio said, I think Trump has thick skin and won't let credit derail him from doing what he think is right. It's not easy to do what he's doing. No. And I believe he's married. See, the thing is, he's traveling all over this country to represent these family. But at the same time, he's taking time that he could be spending with his family away for other families to help him. That's why when you're married, it becomes a team. You are a team. His wife understands the type of work he does, that he do on a daily basis. Oh, excuse me. Welcome to the show, Orion Thomas and Nicole Lee Smith watching on Facebook. Thank y'all for tuning in. Um, Nicole actually said, yeah, I saw it and I cried. Yeah, it was one of those in a news conference. I don't care who you are. If you are human, the sickness of what was said in there would piss you off. And Nicole, I know you probably have a lot to say. I'm gonna ask you switch over to speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog page, for I can also put your message up in the chat. You on my personal page. For some reason, they changed it where I cannot put it in the chat. But if you switch over to the speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog, I can also show your message up on the stream. Um, but listening to this news conference this morning, I got up pretty early. I get up early every morning, no matter what time I go to sleep. Um, but Nicole said we're living in sad times. Yes, we are. Um, got up pretty early this morning, and um, I've been watching uh, the Black News Channel with Mike, Cynthia Bailey husband, Mike, and the young lady that is on there with him. And just so happened, I had a lot of stuff I had to catch up on today. Um, and while I'm here, had my TV muted, but it was on. And I looked up and I see this news conference going on. And I cut it up so I could see what's going on. I didn't know if it was live or if it was just a video. But that news conference, to hear some of the evidence of what came out, um, that's that was um, hold on. I'm trying to send Nicole the message you want to see. Welcome to the show. Bruce R is in the house. Thank you for tuning in. So I definitely appreciate you for tuning in. And Nicole, that's actually for YouTube or for my personal page on my the show page on Facebook. So you can go to either one of them. But I can display your message because I know Nicole have a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, and so it's always good to be able to communicate and be able to um, show their messages on the stream, just like Bruce R. What you got for us? Um, so tonight we started talking about Amber Guyger, how people feel about the fact that she's trying to get her murder conviction thrown out of court, and then we're talking about Andrew. I keep wanting to say Andrew Young, but Andrew Brown Jr., the murder case of him, and the news conference that happened this morning, and some people was upset about. Okay, I got you, Nico. Some people was upset about um, attorney Ben Crump being there and flat out disrespecting him. But my thing is, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Um, Michael, thank you for always tuning in. Said these killings are getting very frustrated just when everything is getting better. Bam, another killing. Yes, it's nerve wracking. It really is. Um, so this morning in this press conference, they had a picture of a autopsy body to show where the person was shot and all of that. Um, so while they were showing the had it blowed up for people can see it clearly, and as they was talking, and I said last night, I don't know from what I've been hearing, and I don't feel that no one is lying about it, but what I've been hearing is he was cooperating. He got in the car, the police ran up, they rolled up, told him put his hand up on the steering wheel. And they said in that 20-second video, you could clearly see him firmly gripping the steering wheel. Then they open up, start shooting at him. Someone's shooting at you. You're not finna sit there and just let him shoot you. He did not. Now, this is what came out in the press conference. He did not move the car toward them or anything. Um, so what eventually ended up happening as they shot him, he turned the car to get away from being shot. Now take it, he was shot 4 times in the arm. 4 times. And as he turned the car to cut across the grass or whatever to get away from being shot, they continued to shoot. And the fatal shot was a bullet to the back of the head. And they said when they did the autopsy, the bullet was still in his brain. So I heard that this morning. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is crazy. And some of the attorneys said, look, it was no way. The way they handled that, they meant to kill him. For them to come out and start shooting the way they did, and they saying you could clearly see his hands on the steering wheel. He did not reach for nothing. He did not move. His hands was both hands on the steering wheel. He was following the orders. Then they start shooting. That's when the car moved. shot 4 times in the left arm. 4 times. So you telling me neither one of you could think about the fact this dude been shot, he gonna need medical attention. Shot 4 times, they continue to shoot as he drove away and hit a tree. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Um, Bruce asked, why did some cops quit their jobs? Because they know they fucked up. That's the only way to put it. And there's something else you got to look at. A lot of these cops, when they do stuff like this, they will quit their job and find them another job instead of being terminated. Because if they terminate it, they have to say why. But if they resign, it's easier for them to get another job. That's the problem we have in America. Nicole asked, did you see where the bullet went into the neighbor's house? Thank God they were not hit. They were not home. I'm sorry. No, Kentucky. They gave that cop up there a slap on the wrist for killing Breonna Taylor because a bullet went through the wall and went into their neighbor house. This was a execution. It's no other way of putting it. The way that this thing is coming out, and they haven't released the video as of yet. The video have not come out. I don't know, because I'm not quite sure about that radio, because when I last checked, the video hadn't came out yet. Because they know once the video comes out, it's gonna be a problem. Once that video is released, Elizabeth City finna catch hell. Once that video is released, if everything went the way they said it did, Elizabeth City finna catch hell. And they know this. That's why they ordered a state of emergency. It's a possibility it could have came on before I really started paying attention to it. They could have said it, and on this particular TV, I have no way of rewinding to take a look at it. So it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. But each one of those attorneys, when they came up and talked, they was hurt. Now they would not allow everybody to see this video. They only allowed a certain amount of people to come in there. Andrew Brown Jr.'s son was the only one that was able to see it. And he said then, man, they executed my dad. Well, he called him Pops. He said they executed my Pops. And this is really crazy. There's no way in 2021 this should still be going on. No way this should happen. Nicole said, yes, it is. I just saw a group of ministers doing an interview. I don't think they have released the video yet. As far as I know, they haven't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. They're going to try to release it at a later time when people not thinking about it. So for the ones out in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, continue to protest, continue to keep the media focused on this case because they're hoping, I would assume they are hoping another case happen where the attention is not on Elizabeth City anymore. But as that happen, people will start to pay attention to a new case. So it's definitely something we got to continue watching. Welcome to the show. Yolanda Bush is watching on Facebook. Thank you for always tuning in. So it's nerve wracking seeing this as a Black man. I feel if I walk out my front door, that could have been me. It could be my nephew, my great nephews, my cousins. It could be a friend of mine. But the only way we're going to really be able to stop it, I don't care what you have going on. If you're not on your deathbed, you need to get out and vote. Make them change the laws. The laws are made locally, not just the presidential election. You need to get out and vote in every election. That's why I talk about voting so much. I talk about it for the simple fact until people realize how important our votes are and stop saying our votes don't count, because they do. If our votes did not count, they would not be spending all this time and money trying to do a modern day voter suppression, changing the voting hours from 8 to 5 for early voting on certain days. Let the truth be told, 8 to 5, most people on there, 8 o'clock in the morning, most people in traffic trying to get to work. So that 7 o'clock, they can stop and vote before they go to work. Well, most people don't get off till 5. They get off at 5, and if the poll closes at 5, no way you can vote. That's why you make time and make sure you can go vote. Today was the last day of early voting. Polls closed at 7. Saturday, May 1st, is the final time you have a chance to vote for your local election. I told you how I felt about the city of Grand Prairie. They trying to pass this bond. We've had two brothers on the show, Kurt Johnson and Junior Ezino, running for city council. The city of Grand Prairie don't have nobody on city council that look like me. And let the truth be told, they probably never had anybody that looked like me on city council. One of the guys that been in that seat told him he don't have time to be a city council, but he won't step down. Let somebody who cares about the city take over. But you want to continue to be there, which is crazy. Then you had a police department and a fire department backing you. But here it is, Kurt Johnson is a veteran, a retired veteran from the Navy. 3 degrees. And it's hard to get support for him. I support him. I support Junior. Junior only 22 years old and realized the problem. He want to make a difference in his city. 22 years old. Now, a lot of people they say, "Oh, he too young to run. He shouldn't be in that position." But when you have little Jimmy them in high school running for city mayor and they mess around and win because they think it's cute, they don't complain about it then. But when it come down to a brother doing the same thing, trying to make a difference in his city, they want to tell you the reason why you don't want to run. He don't have enough experience. But let the truth be told, none of you had it before you got in that position. And then the city of Grand Prairie had this $75 million bond that they won't pass. But here's the kicker. Inside of that, they want the city council to be able to decide who get the contracts instead of putting it up for a bid and let it be fair for everyone. They want to build a brand new hotel, city-owned hotel. But first of all, the city of Grand Prairie is not that big. And you want to build a brand new hotel like they have in Dallas and hoping that conventions come to Grand Prairie. The competition is too tough. You have Arlington, you have Dallas. Who gonna come to a small little bit of Grand Prairie for a convention? Yeah, hotel might do good, but here's the problem. In one particular area of Grand Prairie, they have built at least 4 or 5 hotels in the last year, all right there together. But they don't look at that. They sent the survey out. They want to take the price up for picking up your trash, and they want to cut the number of days down to 1. How many jobs going to be lost taking that extra day out? But they say they for the people, and when they sent the survey out, they didn't even put a return address where people can send back they notice about it, how they feel about it, because they don't care. They don't want to know how you feel. They just want you to do as they say. That's how these cities do. That's why it's so important to get out and vote. Same thing in Longview. Marissa Ward, she repeated some of the same thing that Kirk and Junior said on the show. She talked about how bad it is in Longview. That's why you need to do your homework on these candidates. Yeah, I'm talking about them. And the thing is, and you can ask them. I've reached out to them. I'm like, hey, come on the show. I'm hearing great things about you. Tell me about yourself. And I asked each one of them, what are you going to do for the people? Because trying to represent the entire people in your district. What are you going to do for the people? You cannot come to me and say, oh, I'm all for the black folks. I'm going to say, well, that's wrong. I'm going to tell you that's wrong. When you are an elected official, you need to represent everybody in that district. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they voted for you or not. You need to represent everybody. What's going on, big brother? Tonight, we talked about Amber Guyger trying to get her murder conviction thrown out. And I also talked about Andrew Brown Jr. After that press conference this morning with all the attorneys, the evidence coming out, he was shot 4 times in the arms first. And as he drove away from them, they shot him in the back of the car. and shot him in the back of the head. And that's uh, that's just crazy. Amber Guyger, I just feel she need to just keep doing Big Bertha hair and uh, and do her time because she already got a flap on the wrist. So we're in some trying times. We are. We all need to be praying because it's rough. It's rough, especially for a brother. Definitely rough. Um, Eric Garner mother, the brother that was killed for selling loose cigarettes, she was at the press conference this morning. And she said the cops never intended to take him alive, as for Andrew Brown. After watching that video, they had no intention on taking him alive because of the way they came out and started shooting, even though he was complying to them. And I'm going to tell you now, for these folks to be calling or typing in, talking about, well, he should have just followed what they said. It doesn't matter. He did exactly what they told him to do, according to what they seen on the video. Did exactly what they asked him to do. Hand on the steering wheel, firmly gripping the steering wheel with both hands. He did not move, and they started shooting. So I haven't seen the video, but that's what everyone that have seen it is reporting. And I'm like this: they not finna risk their careers and make things up about this. So I'm gonna trust what they're saying because they've seen it. So don't come leaving messages talking about he should have complied with them. He should have did exactly what they saying. My comments may not be as nice as they normally are because apparently you part of the problem if you cannot see the reality of the things. Um, she also made the comment, Eric mother said, all black and brown men is not a terrorist. They are not terrorists. They not bad. But some of these cops are terrorists. A lot of them are terrorists. Um, she mentioned that people see this on TV, but they don't take the time out to get to know us. They go by what they see in movies and stuff like that. That's why I say people get brainwashed real easily. Just because you're watching something on TV, you gotta understand, you gotta separate between reality and a show. Um, Nicole said that's why I tell their ass off. Um, I don't blame you because people gotta understand. I talked about the video where the woman approached the sister the other day and approached the sister. They both parked in the same spot, but the white woman felt like the sister shouldn't have parked there. When she tried to approach the sister said, hold on, we're still in the pandemic, back up. White woman get pissed off because she said that, come up and spit in the sister face, and she pushed her down. Pushed her down, she hit her head started bleeding a little bit. Now she want to call, oh, you did that, you did that. Now she's the victim. And she talking about, I didn't spit on you. Yes, you did. And the sister said, it's all on video. It's on video. Then some woman come out the shower wrapped up in a towel. What's wrong with you? First of all, find out the true story first. Find out exactly what happened before you start judging and automatic thinking the person that you know is telling you the truth. People would lie every day. Every second, somebody's lying. That's the problem we having. Yes, when I saw Miss Garner, I was like, man, but she's a strong sister. And that's one thing about our Black queens. They are very strong no matter what they're going through. They will find a way to encourage others. What she came out and said this morning, I was like, man, very strong woman. Like they said, they in a fraternity that none of them chose to be in. The fraternity of uh, family members that have lost loved ones to police violence. Like they said, at some point, we're going to have to start holding these cops accountable. When would that be? Um, we have to hold them accountable. If not, they're going to continue doing it. And then the other mother that was on there, um, I couldn't get her name. I know it was Tamika, but her son was murdered in um, last November, if I'm not mistaken. Um, he was murdered last November uh, by a undercover police officer at a church. Okay, Tony Temple. Okay, you must heard me clicking. Uh, so hold on. Yeah, let me put because I couldn't hear the name of it, but he was murdered last November, and uh, no, I don't think that was it. It was in November. She said her son was murdered, so it's not Tony. Um, I don't put links up on the page. I'm sorry. I don't click on links. Um, I don't do links, but I know Tony Temple. I know who that is. That name sound familiar. Uh, yeah, that was the guy that was. That's the. It was actually a Caucasian guy. It happened over there off of Raw Lane, 35 and Raw Lane at the bus stop, and um, so basically, what they end up doing, uh, what they end up doing with Tony Temple, it was a Caucasian guy. Um, and what happened with that situation, he was off his medication and called for help. Now, the cops came out. They came out, which I talked about this on the show. I knew that name sounded familiar. The cops came out. Um, they put him in handcuffs. They called for paramedic, and they laid him on his stomach. And I believe they even said he couldn't breathe. He said he couldn't breathe. Well, when he passed away or when he passed out, one of the cops was seen on video saying, "Oh, he's asleep," acting like he was a kid. Wake up. It's time to go to school. And these cops got off scotch free. No charges brought against him. And that was with the Dallas Police Department. That happened uh, and they saying with him from the story I'm reading, that actually happened June 11, 2020. Uh, no, I thought it was before then. I think that's when it came to I think came to they decided not to charge them, but the case actually happened in August 2016, and no charges was filed. Killed that man. Poor taste to laugh and joke, talking about he was um telling him it's time for school. Definitely um it was crazy. Da, 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 da. Okay, I think it is cops. Let me pull this. No, that's not him. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, and they're still fighting for justice. And the mother mentioned this morning when he was killed, talking about Fred Cops, when he was killed at this church, he was at a church, undercover plainclothes police officer came in, shot and killed him, and still today, they still don't know who this officer was. They still don't know. And that happened back in November of last year. Um, and thank you, Nicole, for giving me that name because I'm going to do some more research on this. But according to the mother, this is not what an attorney said. This is what the mother said. Still today, this undercover cop came in for whatever reason, shot and killed their son. Um, Hold on, let me read this story because uh, it's a happened in High Point, North Carolina, which is also a uh, I want to say they do a lot of furniture making there. A lot of furniture that you purchase in these stores. Um, that's where they come. I used to pick up there. But a teenager was shot by a plainclothes Davidson County deputy during a shooting at a High Point funeral. Okay, it's coming back to me now, according to police. At about 3:29 p.m. on November the 8th, Living Water Baptist Church, located in the 1300 block of Brentwood Street, was holding a funeral service outdoors when a shooter opened fire on worshipers. Witness told police that multiple shots were fired from at least two vehicles, a newer model dark gray four-door Dodge Charger and a white four-door sedan. When officers arrived, they saw multiple vehicles speeding away from the scene. Witness said shots was fired from the vehicle toward people in the crowd outside the church, as well as from people in the crowd back at the vehicle. Officer fired about Officer found, not fired, officer found about 70 shell casing from four different caliber weapons, 9mm, 40, 45, and 223. Uh, Frederick Cox, 18 of North Point, was found dead. Police also found a few other victims suffering from minor injuries. On Wednesday, officer revealed that a Davidson County deputy in plain clothes was at the funeral as part of an investigation into Davidson County homicide. Police say the deputy tried to help people to safety once the shots rang out. At some point during the incident, the deputy fired his gun and shot and killed Cox. The deputy reported he observed Cox with a handgun at the time he discharged his service weapon, or other witnesses observed a handgun near Cox after he was shot. Davidson County Sheriff Richard Simmons told Fox 8 that the deputy, who has not been publicly identified, was at the funeral for 18-year-old Jonas Thompson. The teenager had been found dead on October the 25th in Davidson County Field. The family asked the deputy to attend the funeral after he developed a good relationship with them, the sheriff said. The sheriff said he does not know whether the deputy was undercover or off duty because a law enforcement officer fired their weapon. The High Point Police Department immediately contacted the State Bureau of Investigation and asked that they lead the investigation per standard protocol. The deputy is on administrative leave. No suspect information has been released. So he was there, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Normally, while I'm reading something, I don't look at the chats. I'm not ignoring you, but MSGR Bag said, I'm 63, raised in the South. Took a lot of grief for having Black and brown friends. It's all about God, love, and the lack of thereof. I don't care what color you are. I don't judge a color. I don't judge a person by their color. I don't judge a person by their background. I judge a person by the way they treat me, how we connect. If we connect, I'm good. I'm good. But if you come with foolishness, I don't have time for it. I move away. Big Bro says 70. Yeah, but I'm just right out. It's either gonna be we're cool or we don't communicate, we don't connect. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they feel that I'm unable to connect with until they get to know me. I tell this story all the time when before COVID, I used to go out and play free poker all the time and play free poker. People think, oh, he mean. But once they get to know me, they like, man, you cool. Just because the way I look doesn't mean I'm not approachable. So, um, so that the mother of Fred Cox is still trying to get justice for her son. And as of today, this happened November the 8th, and they still haven't um, identified this officer. Now, this officer is so easy for him to say, I seen a gun in his hand. But it don't say nothing about a gun was found. It don't say anything about a gun was found. And I'm quite sure, I would hope they did it because he said that. I would hope they did the test to see if he fired a gun or not. Reading this story, it sounds like what could have happened. Shots ring out. Cop was going after the ones that was doing the shooting. People ain't gonna stand around and just stand there and get shot. They're gonna run. Sound like to me what happened. Fred just got in the crosspath, trying to run away. I don't know. I wasn't there. But from the way the story is written, that's what it sounded like, what could have happened. He was trying to take cover too and got caught in a crossfire. And the cops accidentally shot him. If it was an accident, that's what he should have said instead of trying to blame the victim. I do remember hearing about the story, him being shot at a funeral and all of this. So I did hear about this story. Welcome to the show, T-Cal. I figured you was working tonight. I was like, all right. Tuesday night, I know how it is. You normally close on Tuesday. So said my night has flown by. Hey, Kurt, though. Welcome to the show. Thank you for always being a supporter of the show. Um, but definitely, this is this is crazy. At some point, people have to wake up and say, let's try something new, because a lot of people don't vote in the local election. And if you never voted in your local election, let's try something new. Get out and vote. Do your homework on your candidates. Get out and vote. That'll be something new. That'll be something different. You get out and vote and let your voice be heard. Forget about what people say. Your vote don't count. It don't matter. It don't count. You don't need a vote and all of that. Forget about all those naysayers, the ones that don't believe these things. But if you get out and vote, you'll never know if it'll work or not. If you don't at least try. It don't cost or hurt anything to try. To just get out and vote. Try something different. You seen what we've been doing. It didn't work. Just like it took a village to run a child, it took a village to change the laws. We all have to do our part. We cannot let people sit back and make decisions for us when they're not for us. Because if they get too comfortable, they're going to try to be in there until the day they die, or until they're just too old and they decide to retire. If they're not doing it for everybody in that community, let's get them out. Vote them out. Say enough is enough. I'm tired of this. I want something different. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of hearing about all these I know I'm killing. I'm tired of hearing about them. Yeah, we could get out, march, protest, and all of this. They just gonna look and say, "Oh, that's all they're gonna do: march and protest." But if you show up at the polls, then they'll get nervous because they know if you show up at the polls, it's gonna make a difference. Look at what happened in November. People got up because they was tired of being lied to. They were tired of all this racism. So we gotta show up, not just in November, but every time. Even this November, the election here in Texas, I don't care. As long as I'm still doing this, I have a voice. I'm gonna say what I have to say. We need to change every leader in Texas that is not for the people. And we'll start at the top, Greg Abbott. He gotta go. We need to vote him out. Need to vote him out. Don't forget, he changed this executive order for little Becky because she violated it. So when she violated that order, if it was equal justice across the board, or if he was for everybody, he would have allowed her to sit there 5 days in jail without changing that executive order. But he changed it strictly for her. But before that happened, when the two young ladies down near the border, I think it was Laredo, one of those McAllen. I think it was McAllen. When they was arrested for doing the similar thing, violating the executive order, they went to jail. They went to jail. I talked about it when it first happened. Nobody paid attention. But then when Becky up in Dallas getting end up getting the fine and possibly going to jail and all of that, everybody want to talk about them in Laredo. Should have been talking about them when it first happened. That's what we want, equal justice across the board. We want police to stop killing us. Stop killing the Black community. So, Greg Abbott, you don't know this. November, you can start packing your bags now, but you can head out. Lieutenant Dan Patrick, you can start packing your bags too. That's the same guy that said he would pay $1 million for anyone to show that it was voter fraud to help Biden win. He would get him $1 million out of his campaign fund, which seemed like to me is illegal. Like I said, not for everybody, only for a group of people. And we already know Ken, the alleged gangster Patson, um, who were brought up on fraud 5 years ago, up on charges 5 years ago for fraud. Then last year, he was brought up on more charges. The FBI is investigating him for allegedly abusing his power in office because everybody thought when he signed that executive bill last year to stop foreclosure, it was for them. It wasn't. It was for his homeboy because he was about to lose his properties. So he signed the executive bill to prevent that, to stop foreclosure. Then he turned around, wanted to represent him in court. Once again, not for everybody. His larger donor is the one he was supporting, not for everybody. I'm just saying. T. Cal said every time too many uh, people died and are dying for this right, it must get done. Yeah, we must vote. I don't care. I don't care whatever they have on the ballot. Get out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Make yourself feel good that you can possibly make a difference in this world. Now, I've talked with when I showed Junior and Kurt video last Thursday, um, and I asked the people at the polling place. I said, "Hey, have it been a large crowd coming in?" They said, "Yeah, the numbers are much higher than where they need to be." But that don't make a difference, though. That don't mean you don't have to do your part. We need to have record-breaking numbers to make sure we can get the right people in office to support everybody and not just for certain people. So we need to make sure we say, you know what? We're going out and vote. I don't care how you vote, just let your voice be heard. Do your homework on your candidates. I know who I support, but that's me. Do your homework. If you're not sure if you want to support them, look at the video. If you know somebody who lives in these cities, share the word. Ask the candidates the tough questions. Ask them, hey, what are you going to do for my community? Because a lot of candidates don't come out until it's election time. And these, they don't even come out. They'll just send you information. They'll have somebody, they won't even post the sign. A lot of them won't. They'll have somebody post them for them. And so what you need to do, if they come knocking or calling, ask them, hey, what are you going to do for my community? How do you feel about the killing of unarmed black and brown people? How do you feel about a police oversight board or a community oversight board that is policing the police? How do you feel about these things? We can talk about it, but we also got to be about it and make a change, regardless of who you are. This is real talk. I remember as a child, one of my late uncles, I only had two blood uncles, um, and both of them are gone. But my oldest uncle, as a child, he taught us the importance of getting out and vote. He told us no matter what you hear, you need to vote in every election. No matter what people say, they're gonna tell you your vote don't matter. It don't count. Don't pay attention to that. Get out and vote. That's why I push voting so much. And please do not let your background hold you back from letting your voice be heard. If you have a felon and you're off of papers, you paid all your dues, check with your state. You can get your voter rights reinstated. And to check on it, you can go to vote.org. And there's a little questionnaire you can answer, and they can tell you right away if you can get your voting right reinstated. Don't cost nothing. It'll cost you a couple of minutes just to check it out and see. And if you're able to get your voting rights back, go out and vote. Let your voice be heard. Register to vote, then go out and vote. Not only that, when you get the little sermon for jury duty, show up. Show up. That's another way to let your voice be heard. Because the thing is, when we have these policemen come on trial or someone else murder someone due to hate crime and stuff like that, well, guess what? If you're not doing your civil duty to go to jury duty, making excuses to get out, well, guess what? You're gonna get somebody thinking like them and think they right to do it. Then what happened? They get off. They get off. So you gotta want to make a difference. Change that mindset and saying, you know what? No matter what, I'm gonna vote. And when I get the jury's duty sermon, I'm going to jury duty. I'm going. And I'm gonna go in with a clear mind. That's why I look at every story we talk about. I do my research. I pay attention to everything. And I'm gonna call it just as I see it. I know some people feel bad about uh, the 16-year-old. It's a sad situation that was killed by the police. Um, but like I tell y'all, I go to counseling every Tuesday between 12 and 1. When you call me during that time, not going to answer. But while I was on the call, I was talking to my counselor, and they mentioned to me, they pointed out some things. I remember seeing this in a video, but even though there was a kid fighting, I don't know if y'all recall seeing this grown man when that young lady fell. This grown man came up and kicked that woman while she was on the ground. First of all, no man should never put his hand on a woman, unless it's a situation where your life is in danger. Now, if that was, I don't know how old the young lady was, but if that was a child, that was child abuse. And the word is that was the foster dad. And if that's the case, they shouldn't have no kids in their house, regardless if they're foster kids or they biological kids. They should not be there. For him to go and kick this young lady while she on the ground. A grown man would try to break up the fight. Once it got started, they should have stepped in and said, no, 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 let's talk this out. Let's talk it out. And I know some people is upset that I don't agree with them, but because of the times that we're in right now, with all of the police killing that is going on, this situation look bad. That particular situation looked bad because it was a police officer that actually shot her. And some people say, well, he didn't even wait. He just got out the car shooting. But you gotta ask yourself, if that was you on the ground and someone coming towards you with a knife, would you want that cop to wait to see what's gonna happen? Or do you want that threat stopped? Because the way I look at it, like I told my counselor, I said, look, I feel like if he waited and if that young lady murdered that young chick, that cop was going to get a bad feedback either way. Even with him taking the action and shooting that young lady to stop her, he's still getting bad feed. But you got to ask yourself, which one did you want? It could have been a situation he waited, the young lady stabbed, the other young lady killed her, then he turned around and killed her. Then it would have been two dead young sisters, which it shouldn't have been neither one if the grown-ups would have took the chance and broke it up. They could have prevented it before it got that bad. But because we live in a society today, when people see drama going on, first thing they want to do, grab their phone, start videotaping, laughing about it, instead of trying to put a stop to it. Nicole said, no, teachers break up fight with knives all the time and they don't kill anyone. Yeah. I don't know if, well, teachers break up fights with knives all the time. My question is, how can they get knives in the school? And the thing is, teachers do a lot. They do deal with a lot because they have to deal with these kids that come in that is dealing with drama at home, and now they bringing it into the classrooms. So you have to make adjustments. My hat goes off to teachers. One of my, I have a, a niece and several family members that are educators. So um, I partially agree with Nicole, and I partially don't. And I'm gonna break it down real quick. She said he didn't have to shoot her 4 times in the chest. That was awful. White kids get away with murder. and they're not dead. The first part, as a police officer, because he did take an oath to protect and serve, he just made it on the scene. He see this woman chasing another woman with a knife. The woman falls down. He had to stop. Now, the thing is, because the young lady was so hyped up because of what was going on, her adrenaline was rushing, and he probably had to shoot her 4 times before she realized she actually been hit. Even when I've done security back in the days as a security officer, commissioned security officer, they said if you ever have to shoot anyone, unfortunately, you shoot them twice in the chest. My first thing is you shoot them twice in the chest, and that's going to kill them. They said, how do you know that? You're not a doctor. You're not a doctor. You don't know that. But you're shooting to stop the threat. I wasn't there. I don't know. So 4 times, it may seem like overkill, but because of what was going on, her adrenaline was rushing quite a bit. She probably didn't realize until the 4th time. That's why I said if I see more of the video than what been released, and if I see something different, I will correct that. But yes, you are right. White kids get away with murder and are not dead. Mass murders, where they go and shoot up malls and stuff like that. Then they take into Burger King, shoot up churches, take into Burger King, or stop and get something to eat, something to drink. Or a cop may say they were just having a bad day. We all have bad days, but we're not going to go out here and have a bad day and shoot up the place either. We all have bad days. I have bad days all the time. But when I come on this camera, this is like therapy to me. I'm able to talk, get out my frustration when I'm talking. I don't get upset where my days are so bad I want to go out and murder people. And that cop that said that, it was kind of like he was justifying exactly what was going on. And that's not right. It's not right at all. So, yeah, we all have bad days. If everybody had bad days and respond like that, that will be an issue. Will be like the Wild Wild West. So, speaking of the Wild Wild West, don't forget tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Fresh Air West will be giving out food and water. First come, first serve. Check the website. You don't have to sign up, but they're still giving back to the community. Tomorrow, they teamed up with Hunger Buster. They're going to be giving out free food and water. First come, first serve. So try to get there early. Make sure you are able to get it if you need it. If you know someone that need it, please share the message. Let them know. Free food and water tomorrow at Friendship West. Check the website, all the details. It's on there, friendshipwest.org. That's friendshipwest.org. And check it out and see. Tonight is no, it's not tomorrow. I'm thinking tonight is Wednesday. Thursday. Thursday. Not tomorrow, Thursday. On Thursday, I made a mistake. Thursday, Friendship West will be giving out free food and water on Thursday. So check the website. All the details is on at freshyourwest.org. So please, I made a mistake. Like I said, I make a mistake, I will correct it. So on Thursday, Fresh Your West will be giving out free food and water. You don't have to sign up, but you need to get there early. First come, first serve. Don't try to show up at 2 o'clock. They probably gonna be finished by then. So definitely uh, go out if you're in need of it, or if you know someone that is in need of it. Definitely do it. Other than that, my days are all thrown off. I'm thinking today's Wednesday because I talked to Miss Risky earlier, and I'm like, oh, she'll be on the show tomorrow, but that's Thursday. So, but other than that, I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. I hope um, justice is done for all these families that have been victims of killings by the police, by racial folks, or whatever. We need to make a difference, and the best way of making a difference is getting out and voting. I know people gonna say all the time, my vote don't count. Yes, it does. If it didn't count, they wouldn't be trying to do this modern day voter suppression. Get out and vote. Let them know no matter how you try to change it, I'ma still allow my vote to count. So but other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time, if the good Lord say the same. Thank y'all for tuning in. Nicole, Big Brother, Radio, T Cal, um, Mike. Man, there's so many people. I cannot remember all of you. But please, don't charge it to me. Charge it to my mind, not my heart, because I love each and every one of you. Until then.